to another episode of The Follow-Up. I'm Eden, and this is my dad, Noah. And every week for the past 2 years, we've been doing this podcast about something we wanted to talk about. And if you have any ideas for some topics that we could talk about, you can submit them on Apple Reviews, because we love to hear some new topics that we could talk about. And this week, we're going to be talking about inflation and just how crazy it's gone.
All right, so every week we come up with a topic. Sometimes I say, hey, what do you think about this? And you say yes or no. And other times you just say to me, hey, Dad, how about we talk about this? And this week was one of those instances when you said, I think we should talk about inflation. Why?
Because I know it's very important, because one thing is that it's usually one of the main stories on the news, but two, it's a very big thing happening right now, because a bunch of things are going up. Like at the grocery store, and there was actually just something that was on the news about house prices going up and how you can save energy, because all those prices are going up.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so interest rates are going up because they're trying to get the government's trying to get people to save more money right now. So if you save money and aren't spending it as much, then maybe prices will come down a little bit or balance out. So that's how it affects the housing market. But do you understand what, from the news or any of our, I guess we've talked about it a little bit. Wow, sunshine really coming through here. My goodness. We have to have the air conditioning on. So if that impacts the audio, it's because we don't want to be sweating during the podcast.
It's just very hot in here.
Can you explain what inflation is, how it works?
So I don't really know how it works, but I'll try to explain as best as I can.
Sure.
So inflation is, I'm going to give an example of gas, okay?
Okay.
So inflation is affecting gas because there's a shortage of gas, because we get most of our gas from like Russia and all those big places. But there's been less because we don't want to get it from there.
Okay.
So that means that if there's less, prices have to go up. And in food, we don't want to get it from all those other places. So prices are getting up because there are less of them.
Right, so what's that called? When a lot of people want something and there's less of it? It's supply
shortages.
Nope, supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
Demand, right. So when there is...
I can only see half my face.
Yeah. So when there is a limited supply of something, less of something, but same amount of people still want it, then the price of that little thing is going to go up.
So
Now,
one thing is like avocados, chicken, all those things.
lots of different things.
But also, I think I have another thing that might go with that.
What's that?
Like climate change. Because like chicken and stuff, like let's say with chicken and stuff like that come from animals, it's just so hot that when those animals get just so hot.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe there's less of it.
And then they sometimes die, basically. Like if just animals get so hot.
Before they're ready to be like killed to eat.
Right.
Yeah, it could be.
But
yeah,
also,
it could be.
It's just like there are less of now things.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. You know, I keep talking here because I'm just going to close the shade here.
Okay.
And we'll just keep the podcast going, but that is just...
Too bright.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
That's better? My goodness. Oh, that's so much better.
So much
okay.
better.
So, and another reason for it is higher wages. So people are making more money. You see help wanted signs a lot of places. So people are making more money. So now more people are spending money. So as people spend more money, then the prices of something is going to go up.
Because companies keep having less money to pay those things too.
Well, yes, because
if they're paying people more.
If they're paying people more, then they need to make up that money, and it always comes back to the consumer.
Because no one wants the jobs because they think they're not paying enough. So then they raise the price of what they're going to pay that person, and then people want that. But then they have to keep doing without all the other jobs, and then that just means that the company's losing lots of money.
Right, the company is making less money, and now they need to make that money back because, and then they pass it on to the consumer.
Correct.
which is us. So when it comes to money in general, so I guess so you're 7. So 2 years ago, we started giving you allowance, and it's always a topic amongst parents, friends. Like, do you give your kids allowance? What do you talk about? So we give you $2 a week, and I do think it is, and you've never spent $1 of that.
No.
But I do think that you look at prices of things, and if sometimes we say to you, all right, well, if you want that, you can use your own money.
Right.
Like if it's a stuffed animal or something you don't need, something you want but you don't need,
Right.
we'll say, well, if you want it, you can use your allowance.
Right.
And then you look at the price, and then how do you then think about money once you see the price?
Well, I think about, okay, if I have this much now, then this is how much I'm going to still have left. But maybe if I want this, then maybe I should keep this, because then I also have this much left.
Right? And also, I've heard you say, that's one good point, but I've heard you say something that is, like, I think it was some stuffed animal, and it was $8. And I remember you saying, that's so a whole month's allowance would just be handed over for that one stuffed
Right.
animal. So I
That just
saved
isn't-
for a whole month just for that,
Right.
and you said it's not
it's
worth
not
it.
worth it.
Right, and so at that age, to say it's not worth it, and to start to understand the difference between need, want, or like would just be really nice to have. There are certain things you just like, I don't know, maybe do I really really want it? Nah, no, I'll save for it. I think that stuff.
Yeah.
I think that stuff's important. And I know
I
mom's
bought
very
one-
conscious about that.
I've literally bought one stuffed animal. I didn't use my allowance for that.
What'd you use?
There was just other stuff.
Gift card.
Yeah, I used
Michael's
a
gift
gift
card.
card,
Yeah, I remember that.
But I bought some books with my gift cards and
Yep, and
painting,
gift cards.
painting stuff. But I just used a bunch of my gift cards for stuff.
Right. You haven't used any of the
No,
cash. Right.
because I like to just. I think for me, I just like to save it up.
Yeah, because you never know what you're gonna
Right.
need it for or want, and so you're thinking like something. All these little things are gonna end up adding up to all this money. So, but do I want all these little things,
Right.
or am I gonna want something that I'm gonna really really love?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a good way of thinking of it. Yeah, Mom and I think about money with you a lot when it comes to like even ordering at dinner and making like pulling out a credit card and knowing. Mom was making this point the other day, so that you see that money is actually being paid for this meal, because so many things now is just done, whether it's on the phone or ordering on Amazon, and things just show up.
Right.
So
Like
you
in all
gotta
those-
make sure that you know that this does cost
Right.
money here. It doesn't
Like in
just
all
show
those-
up.
In all those like Walmart commercials, how it's like the food getting delivered to your door, like
Yeah.
like that thing.
Yeah. And as you get older, the whole credit card business it's very easy, and the country has a problem of people in debt, DEBT, in debt, where they're constantly owing money.
Right.
Because they've spent so much money on a credit card and they can't pay it back. So you never spend more on a credit card than you can pay
Right.
from your bank account. Yeah. It's not just, oh yeah, I'll pay for it later.
Like
No,
Thomas
you-
Jefferson, when he died, he ended up in so much debt.
Yeah, but he didn't have a credit card. But yes, he was
No,
always,
but
you're
like-
right, he was always in debt. And he was
Yeah.
just borrowing from some people to pay other people. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, right, I remember that. Or I think I remember learning that at Monticello. Yeah.
Oh, and this was the little stuff.
Oh, with your Michael's gift certificate?
It's cute.
Yeah. It's a topic that's going to be in the news for a while.
Yeah.
And especially with gas prices, but now they're coming down a bit.
Yeah.
And it makes Mom and I feel really old when we say, we remember when gas was under $1.
$1 a gallon.
And like under $1. We feel like Grandma and Grandpa when they say, when we were kids, we used to get gum for a penny.
Okay, yeah, that's like really. It's really
Yeah. All right. I love you.
Love you.